Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
We were talking about the interview, all those things I just have given you overview. Today, we will discuss a little in a broader way. We will talk about this interview stage like, see what are the roles will be involved in the interview stage. Let's say a recruiter or hiring manager will be there, right? Because these are the people who will take decisions to proceed further or decline the job application of the candidate. That is the one. And do you know who will be the interviewer? Usually it's the managers or somebody. That's true, but interviewer, here we would say might be like a panel who will be taking up the interview and he will be an existing employee in the organization. Right. He might be a contractor or he might be sometimes contractors will also take advantage of the contractors or employees. And as you know, this interview scheduler is the person who schedules the interview at what time, what location, or where. It would be exact location. That could be the interviews. The interviewer scheduler could be the recruiter as well. Not recruiter. I would say because this is what happens, this interview study. It would be integrated with Outlook and Google Calendar. Is there? If you select none, I'll show you in the slides. However, in practical we will do little later, maybe next class or something. And then again, candidates are the people who are taking up the interviews. That is what the roles involved in the interview stage. And these are the domain securities, as I said, no need to remember. But however, these are majorly the candidate depending on the security groups that can access and view information for these interview related domains in the recruiting function. Like candidate data interview feedback comments, candidate data interview feedback results, and candidate data interview schedule, and person data walk email self-service. Give interview feedback, self-service my schedule recruiting events. These are the domains. As I said, no need to remember and nobody will ask. I have never been asked by anybody on this. However, we should know, right? Because tomorrow, if you know all this, we immediately found any security group to be, populated over there. We can give modifier nuances. Just one little. Then how to set up, interviews. The task could be like maintain interview scheduling settings. Like this will allow defaulting for interview teams like the panel, who will be taking up and what are the questionnaires we can populate to them, and what are the competencies, their skill behavior. These things for the particular job recognition, I would say. This is the interview team. See, here in Turnen we exactly don't know, right, who is the panel, these things and all. That is the reason if you take in the screenshots actually to explain it. Anyway, these are the interviewers who will take up the interview. I would say like panel, like these people, these three, Anderson, Martin, Johnson, A, B, C. And what is the duration of the interview? It will be mentioned over here by this setting. And whether the interview type would be like person, phone or video. Nowadays people will say virtual or face to face. Sometimes, it will be that, right? That's me. That's what. And when it comes to alternate interviewers, this is like when the panel is not available, they will include somebody else. That time that person has to take up the interview. That's what. And when it comes to competencies, we can select whichever the competencies it is. And same page, we are just calling it to you. Know little bit, I would say, right? That will get this questionnaires like questions in the sense. Which questions we can ask? See here what are the questions we will attach. The panel will get to know what are the questions he needs to ask to the candidates, that list. It will be there that it will actually help the panel to take up what questions needs to be asked. Whether it is required anything. We'll attach those questions. That's what. This is one way of setting up the interview. The other, it could be done through Microsoft Outlook or Google Calendar. That's correct. Correct. This is almost like a manually, I would say. The other one, which will integrate through Outlook, and the one which you said, the other one. I'll show you next slide that you will get to know. This is manual, I would say. And that's it. And see in the same page there is recommended settings, right? We are just discussing those things. In the recommended interview settings, earliest start time. The interview should happen between 9 am to 5 pm. And they'll check for the panel availabilities for the upcoming 2 weeks. And the slots will be for Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Based on that, they will take and then set up the interviews. And what are the rooms? Rooms needs to be that. I'll show you some screenshots. And when it comes to other tasks, maintain interview feedback ratings. A lot of things that you can see here. Highly recommended. When a candidate is really having that stuff, maybe he is capable enough to, expertise in his particular functional area. Then this will be highly recommended. Recommended with reservation means he'll be good and few, and he may not be that great in here. But there's still, however, they'll recommend with this reservation. These are settings. It will be done default. The other will be that you want to add or something we can do. But however these are, it will be their feedback descriptions. And when we come to maintain interview types, this is the other task. As you know how the interview types will be like phone, video, and in person. These are the types. As we are discussing, when we go to this edit tenant setup, recruiting, we will get an option. Integration should be. That integration should be. We have to select with Microsoft Outlook. It will happen through Outlook. Usually it will happen through Outlook. That is the integrations and all. And integration will also trigger. Can the integration team do this? Yes, of course there will be, integration, which will trigger actually all those things. And if you select Google Calendar, that also we can do, but it will be quite easy. But, however, I said, both of the features will not work. None of the above means manually. I'll show you. And when it comes to location types for interview scheduling, like local office or heads, what is? Did anybody join Rashma or none of them Vishnu? Might be the same thing. That's This is like configure interview business process. As you see, Shakuntala, this is the recommended settings, which I've shown also on Wednesday. Okay. Schedule the interview, manage interview feedback, and make interview decisions. I'm sorry. These are the shared participation. Again, I was telling. It is like this group is default. It is added over here. This shared participation, they might be, like here, contingent worker or employee also. I mean, the panel might be. Meaning of this step is to like feedback. Taking the feedback from the interview panel, I would say, adding up. Interviewers might be, as I said, contingent worker or employee. And once they take feedback, the template will go to these people. Then what happens? The recruiter will, based on that recruiter, will take the action. Actually, recruit. Whether to proceed or to decline. That is what you know. It happens actually. Have you practiced Shakuntala? Like those things. I did go through the different stages and I've seen the steps once again. I had a look at them. If you get an opportunity to learn about their talent and performance or learning, and all it will be easy only. You can learn. It will be good. Because as a functional consultant, nowadays what is happening? If you see last one here and all, they'll act for multiple of these. I see the same thing is happening as I'm going through the requirements. They're asking for compensation. I will tell genuinely something that I want to be something. Because even if it is not happening tomorrow, if it is happening, that's. But I want to tell the general things. We don't want to do that. Honestly, I want to think of the things market, how it is happening. I feel November, December it might be very good. But I'm 100% sure next year, this kind of recession will not be there. In 1000%, I'm just thinking. Hopefully. Because it's been a long time, right? People are actually struggling. Else I would have joined. It's been more than 6 to 8 months. Else I would have joined HCL only. Like the long bank. There, people will say a lot of top security, all this thing. What about money? Security is also important. Nowadays, we don't know how they will fire that actually. That is what I mean. Actually, I have opted for all courses self-paced. I have access to learning, talent and performance as well. When I have time, I definitely go through those videos. Learning you can learn. It can be quite. I also little bit, I know not fully, I would say. It's not my core area also. HCM and recruitment also. But over talent and performance, I don't know much. And I know it also. And this leave and absence time tracking, I would say it is a bit complex ones. I feel my people might, their capability will be different. Suppose your capability is good, then you might learn immediately also. I think it was a little, because I'm not from that background. That's the reason. That might be the case. But if you get an opportunity in the company, if they say you have to learn live in apples or something, there'll be very short time, for example, but still don't say no. When they give opportunity, if you say no, it will be a different case again. You say yes and the things. It's like currently, I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. I'm willing to learn, give my 100%. You have to wait and you should be having out of patience you also, right now. You never know. If the market is good November, it will be good. November, December something. Again, if it goes to peace and next year it will be good. However, it is not with the hope. But if you get a time, try to learning or something. It might be up to 20 days. Definitely. And you were talking about internet. You've already created a business process for this. We already shown right each and everything. I've done it short. What I've done is see simple. This is the company, right? I click on this. Again, I'll show you what is the short. You go to business process. Correct. Absolutely correct. You go to create popular link definition. And I selected the business process. It will not come. Because it will not come for this company. Because we already have right. I copied from a particular company. Like that happened from Magna. You copied that, something. Because a few other things, the setup was not good. And I have a quick question. If you don't want to copy or if you don't want to take it from the existing, you can only create all those steps like none of the above. None of the above. And you can create everything from scratch. From the scratch. That's what I would suggest you, Dabudala. I will do that. And do it from the scratch. Don't do any shortcuts. C for teaching. I am getting the shortcut of the options. But first 2 times, like let's see business process. Create copy or link definition. None of the above you select. And you take up this one. Click on. And you do step by step. I'll try it over the week and I'll definitely do everything from scratch. All the substages. You may not be able to populate few security groups, but still go to business process security policies for functional area. Give the option of staffing functional area recruitment. Recruiting, not staffing. Recruiting your team. Everything, whatever we are designing. And business process. Whatever the business process you are doing, for example, you are doing for interview, you give interview. For example, you are doing for offer, you give offer, and you do it. That what happens? You will get all the grip. Once you get the grip easily, you can explain to the interview. That's what you know. The writing of script, presenting the script is important initially. That is more than enough. I mean, they will not go and ask you very much deeply. But few questions. They will ask that time if you are able to answer perfectly. Few features also. I will explain you in upcoming sessions. Like Monday, today one feature. I will explain you. Once you get to all those, you explain all those things and you take up that situation and explain them. For example, if they give any options, oh, I have done this feature, you should make me like this and all. Once you explain, they will get to know this guy is a real-time worker. That is what we have to apply the tactics to crack. But I am sure it is easy to do within 3 to 5. Not 5 also required. If you are really sincere, I think 3 to 4. Another one also. We will try to finish by 24th or 25th session. Let's say today is 15th session. Next week 5 sessions. By 24th session, I mean next week Thursday, I will try to finish. If not, we will see later on time. I think almost I will cover everything. And once you go on practice, you said you would give some scenarios. You would give them once we complete all the sub-stages. Now we are done with sub-stages. Only the thing is few features CYT excellent. Actually, yesterday class, if you would have done, I would have given you. But I want to give maybe now, Monday or Tuesday, 100% IPD. because I need to frame it in an overpermanent. Got? See, my intention is at least you get to know what is what in the real time, how it is just testing scenarios and all. My current project is like testing and enhancement. You will get to know what is happening. At least an idea you will get. This is what is happening. That is what it is. If you want to learn course also, they will not give time also. To detailly learn and now it's better. You learn and you can do by yourself. That's what I do. I will go to that next one. This, I have shown all the steps. I want to show it. We have done this one. We will go to this one. We will go to this one. We want to show for a minute. That's it. We will go to this one. This is what we had configured actually. The action step, schedule interview managing to be feedback, make interview decisions. That's it. And this is the one which we are discussing. These are the steps. Schedule interview. Workday automatically populates the interview team from the Manage Interview Scheduling Settings task, which you already seen here. Interviewers receive a meeting invitation or a notification. And when it comes to the other step, grade interview or manage interview feedback, which we already given the step. Vishnu, I have a question. When you are scheduling the interview, the interviewers would get a notification. How about the candidate? Do we have an option for us to send it to their email? Or how does it work from the candidate point of view? From candidate point of view, he will get a notification because the notifications will already set up in the tenant right. In the interview, do we have an option in any of the tasks to include the candidate's email? We can actually, set up a few notifications actually. In the interview P, we can set up notifications and it will trigger. Usually I'm telling. But in the scheduled interview, what happens? It will go on trigger automatically that it will go to this candidate home of that notification. Manually when we do. But how would it go? Because in the slides that you have shown me, I didn't get to see the option for the candidate's email. Did I miss something or? No. I will explain you those things. I like how you know those setting up options. If not, I'll at least share you some screenshots also for that. That would. Probably by next week, I'll try to get those. It might help a little bit. Those kind of things and all. If you learn, it will be good. But however, that question they might not ask. You can explain and do that things. And now of the initiates to inbox items like manage interview feedback, give interview feedback. We can set up actually notification. We can go to business process, add notification. Those are the clients. We can add and we can check and do some experimentation also. And make interview decision. If we want to move the candidate from interview to next or we have to decline. The job application. We can take up the attention. Manager will take up, usually. That is what this VP was talking about. I'm talking about. Make interview decision like that. And set up interviews to integrate with Microsoft Outlook, which we already discussed. Microsoft Outlook, Google Calendar, and none of the apps. See, when we talk about this Microsoft Outlook, what happens? You will need to either have admin access rights in your organization office, 365 account, or admin's credential to complete this step. It will go with the Outlook, right? It needs a credential to log in. Once you give sign in option, this task enables you to search for room for interview scheduling. Sign into Microsoft Outlook to authorize the access. Once you have, you can do this. Once we have the credentials, it would be easy for us to enable the option. Absolutely. It's easy also. Easy. Not that great of a funnel. And in order to book rooms, your Office 365 admin must have created a room list distribution group for your Outlook account. Outlook account, there should be some room. List distribution group should be created. If you are not able to book a room after enabling the integration, contact the person in charge of Office 365. Like scheduler will be there, right? You can contact this guy and make all the settings, which will be configured. This is a candidate. Interview schedule just taken from your thing screenshot. Interview would be from 32. And this is the candidate. These are like panels and other people organizers. We will do it manually because we cannot do. We will select none of the app and I'll show you. When job application BP triggers, right? We'll manually do those normal things like scheduling timing. You'll get to it. Here the schedule would be like, this is the schedule and timing would be 12:45 to 1:15. And call with Cindy says, head of account manager. The position is for head of account. And this one title, she is the candidate Cindy. And these are the interview schedules. Once the attendees and room reservations on the left side of the screen you will get, for example, the interview scheduled first round like 132 HR or benefits. And the room will be like Beti they mentioned, right? That is the room. And when it comes to the other one, 2 p.m. to 2:30, the room would be Blackbird Jet. And these are the panels. This one. I have a question, Vishnu. Once this business process is configured, and then if you have to make any changes to this interview business process, for example, I am the recruiter and I have some issues with the interviewers and these people are not available and I have to select some alternate interviewers. Do I have to raise a ticket or how is this done? If you have any changes, not just the interviewers or be it the timings or anything, no alternate interviewers. They already give. They would have given the list to you who will be the alternate interviewers. For example, if you have some changes in the timings, then what would the case be? Again, we can go to interview setup and we can change the timings and we can schedule a little bit. At that time, would the recruiter raise a ticket for that? She can. Once she gets the confirmation, she will just, confirm on the night and she can directly raise your team members. The recruiter has the access to make any changes to the interview. Absolutely. Got. And for final round of interview, the hiring manager or interview will take it. Between 2:30 to 30. It will be like that. This is like how it will be going to, trigger this email. If it's on Outlook, who will be the interviewer? The start time, end time. Who will be the panel? Last time, end time. Just this is not the correct screenshot. I will check. But however it looks to people, all those things. And when you connect Workday to your company's Office 365 Outlook calendar, you will be able to check out in this available TV. We will get to know, right, once we scroll, what all do you know? We can just show you what all the events which they haven't worked yet. We will get to know soon. Call us Cindy. They will get to know that banner, right? They have a call with Cindy. That is what I mean, nothing else. You only get to know that panel, right? You will get to know what all the schedules you'll be knowing right today for today. For example, you are an employee. You are taking up the interview with Cindy. You will get to know what all the schedules you do have in the Outlook. That is what we did in this area of specifically. And then when we schedule interview with without selecting integrations like Outlook at Google Calendar manually, we do right. That's what I was telling. We can select candidate interview schedule and we can select particular candidate. What are the candidates you want? For example, see here. I need to say, this one. If you select this, none of the above, manually, I'm interested. I'll give you a few other, recruiting material content also. Like some other word tape. We'll see how it is. I'll fetch that. You'll get an idea. And I need to say I'm going to select none of the above. We have to. Manually we do candidate interview. What is the candidate we need to select? And automatically that requisition also, it will populate here. We will do it manually, don't worry. And we'll schedule the interviews in the upcoming sessions. It's easy, also by seeing simply we can. And we can take up actions. What is the candidate interview date, start time, end time, interviewers? These are all the details. We can fetch it up. However, it's not shown here. Just sometimes we can take an action. We can create email template for create email template. What is the name? Because Workday automatically fetches this interview schedule, template over there. And we can attach those things. This is creating email template like dynamic content, static content. It's nothing but kind of work that delivered right. What are the default content? It should come. Default, we can take up there. Static, it is like a sequential one. I would say normally. And this see here dynamic content, they select candidate, URL right. Based on that, we can send the notifications to them. And when you configure all those things, you can go and check how it happens. Create email notification which will go to them. And the important thing is channel. You need to select. You can select email or mobile push notification. Both we can send, right? And then you can select the notifications that maybe last 2 sessions. And the frequency should be immediately. It should trigger. Like this. Just for your information, I'm telling you how it is going. And when you go, do this edit, turn and setting notifications, you go to recruiting tab. The output is done. I'm just showing. Got. Very simple. And they'll never ask you to do these things. But, however, a few things when compared to HCM, we should learn a few things. That's the reason. That is what it is on the interview part. When it comes to offer, see offer. Business process is also important. And you know there were few security policies for this domain in the recruiting functional area. Candidate data offer details. Like these are the domains. Candidate data offer initiation. Candidate data offer initiation business title. Candidate data offer initiation weekly awards. And candidate data one-time payment offer. And candidate data stock grant offer. Manage candidates. These are the domains which you can go through. Just go and put a search and see for 2 to 3 minutes. No need to remember. Just you'll get an email. What is what? What is what? Like this. Sometimes see these options. You may need to configure very full time. Maybe security related thing will come right. That time this domain will be useful for you to give modifying new access. That's it, nothing else. And as you see, edit business process security policies. If you want to configure any, see these are the important steps in the offer, like sometimes generate offer. Other steps also will come. Lot of steps are there. But in this proposed compensation offer employment agreement, request one-time payment offer employment agreement, request stock grant offer employment. These are the steps which will come in the offer, and you can give access to those particular security groups. Absolutely. See here. We have designed this offer like, as we said, initiation step. This step is proposed compensation offer. You know what happened, this purpose compensation and all. This compensation team will be taken care of. If you want to change any compensation and all, they'll be taken care of. And it will actually, those teams will be taken care of. You don't need to do anything. Just you might be, just click on. That's it. But however these things, they would have already done everything. I mean to say if you want to send a candidate, for example, later international transfer or promotion, you want to give that time. What happens this? BPs will trigger. But what is the salary? Each and everything it will populate automatically. But you have to change the salary. And it should be according to the parameters. Like I would say, like we don't need to do. Just we have to make sure. If that is not in the, for example, the salary range is between 1 lakh to 2 lakh. If it is more than 2 lakh, then it will not take. I mean those contributions they would have to. It would fall under the salary schedule range that we have. That range, all those things. But compensation again, that's different one. And these all the BPs will trigger. It will go to them. I mean to say, they will do all those things. Whatever security groups are mentioned here, and you're working on the proposed compensation that would go to that particular security group, and they will take care of it. They will take care of it. And each and everything salary, all those things they will take care. However, these are important duties. In these steps, these are important. If you want to give any stock grant. And finally, manager will take the operation, whether to proceed or decline or whatever. Like that it will happen. And here this is not required, segment based at all, because it will be confused. And we can configure this our business process. I just wanted to show again for these steps. How would you have given the steps populated? Just I'll show you for a minute, probably in that queue. How you had enabled this, that type, because sometimes these steps we have to give. Separate. We can just select business security policy. Writing business process. For DOM. Business security policy for functional area. Always, our system is recruiting, not stopping. Because we are not recruiting. Always we are recruiting. That we need to remember. And what are the business process you want? Because this is for offer, right? Let us check for offer. Here for a post compensation offer, request one-time payment. You can go here, you click on this and go to edit down. There is that. You can add your security. That is what it does not mean. And proposed compensation offer is also there. One more step. How about Vishnu, when you are trying to put the security policy domain for functional area, even at that stage where you have selected the business process type, I think is it. Maybe we can select the proposed compensation there because I've seen some options. You could do that way as well. Where are you going to say? I didn't get to your point. Can you go back a page? This one. This one. Not this one. When you're trying to go for the domain security policies for functional area, business process security for functional area. Oh, business process, right. Or domain you are talking about. Business process security policies for functional area. Functional area. Sorry, I confused you. This is the one which we can do. And functional area, the functional area it's recruiting. And for the business process, when you're typing in for as offer, I have seen two other options like proposed compensation. But we are not going to design those proposed compensation offer enough. I understood your purpose of compensation. It's popping up. I understand. But these are under the compensation team. Maybe address compensation team. Oh, you know these people. Compensation team will take care. Not our, Thank you. We got it. No need to do all those things. But however, those are populating the offer. Right. That's what you mean to say. Those are separate steps, for hours only offer. Those steps will actually populate here. You got the point. What happens, As I said, we can just go to business store. These are. There is separate PPs for proposed compensation offer and request one-time payment offer. There is separate, PPs for that. However, these all will trigger. These are steps in our offer, but it might be triggering separately to them as well. But however, in our things we added these stages here. It will trigger and it will go to the particular team and they will take action on that. And they will confirm how much. What is this? Whether we need to give stock grants, all those things, salary offer, everything, those things. All types. Brother, then we will be. We need to sign it to answer your door on track. It just needs attention. Forward, we got to move this. I want to make sure the comforty index is ringing. This is one future. There are 2, 3 futures which I said to you. I'll explain right. This is automatically decline a candidate's remaining job application. For example, how this feature we can enable. It's very easy. You can test it out once you are moving it. Probably first time I'll explain it. Third time or fourth time, you can test it out. These features. You can also explain this to the interviewer. He might be interested. Automatically decline a candidate's remaining job application. For this, what we have to do is this feature we have to. When a candidate moves to the ready for hire stage and reaches this step, Workday declines the remaining active job applications. I mean to say maybe he is selected for particular job requisition. And for example, Java, as I said earlier, also Java. He might be selected, but I will explain you what are the steps you need to do. JavaNet is there. Candidate has got selected for Java, but he is also specialized in NNET outcome. Right? That's what we were talking about. But this, how we can create dispositions also and add in the business process ready for hire that it remain decline, remaining jobs, business process. At the last time, I mean to say this step, we can add here decline remaining jobs. Do you add it in possible dispositions as a step? Yes. Good question. Good question. Good question. In the business? Good question you asked. You understood the point, what I feel. See, I added this step in the. I will come to the point. I added this step as declining remaining jobs. Because he got selected for Java. His other jobs, like .NET, he got the other job. Application will be there, right? That should be automatically declined, right? Got. We add this step as a last step, I need to say. Go to ready for hire. Go to ready for hire business process. And you add the last step as decline remaining jobs. And you can test it out. It will happen exactly. But for that again, you said a good thing. Recruiting disposition should be there. For example, I can explain only 2 times, not 1. You will be confused. Don't want to do that. But you are relating correctly. And 100% you are relating. I would say. VP job application. This is the one. We go to a edit dynamic definition. What is a edit dynamic definition? Suppose at least see when we are. For example, a candidate is selected for Java. His application should be declined, right? What is the reason? What is the logic and reason? We have to give one reason. For example, he might be in the review state. He might be in the phone screen for other job application. He might be in the assessment, but wherever he is some reason we have to decline, right? Job application, you have to decline it, right? As a recruiter, we have to decline. For that disposition should be there. What kind of disposition? Like maybe hired for other job. We didn't add here, but we'll see whether it's there or not. Hired for other job. Understood, right? But you are correctly relating. That's what I kill positive. Hired for other C. Hired for other job. I'm adding here. He'll be in assessment. He'll be in assessment state. He'll be positive only. But however, he got selected for another job, requisition Java tablet. You can add this step for all the substages. right? Absolutely correct. Excellent. Excellent. All the stages, you can add this step wherever you want. You can decline this step. See when that step is not added in all the stages because you never know where the candidate will be. Some job requisition might be in review stage of a stage screen stage. Excellent. Excellent. You are relating in a very good way. We give that reason to decline the job of it, but however it has to be done automatically. Right? That is the reason. We add this decline in remaining jobs in the TQP. Right. You can test it out. You can test it out. Again, when we are declining, we have to do the reason why you are declining. Because he is already selected or hired for a job. Even the candidate is going for ready hire. He will be going for ready for hire. That is sure. He will be there. But how was that job application? Or suppose he is in the job in any stage he might be. Without knowingly, you are sending the candidate for ready for hire. That were right, we understand. Let me tell you a little more clearly. Already a candidate got selected for Java. Again, Naniti, his job application is going for ready for hire. You don't know. You don't know whether he got selected for Java. You are sending him to ready for hire for any T developer. At that time, it will automatically we can decline the job or the other applications. This step will actually decline the remaining jobs. He is already selected. That's it. Decline the job. It will decline automatically. But again, reason we have to select. That's it. Candidate got selected for other opportunity, other activities. That's what this step is all about. And we will discuss this, which I also want to give a hard step because I want to go somewhere. Yes, I want to explain one more feature also. But however, don't want to rush the things. Slowly, just this. You can explain to the interviewer and do the experiment. Probably you get the option for next week, right? Next to next week, which will be important for you. For example, suppose we go through the classes for next couple of sessions. What happens? You will be getting the option for moving the candidate from one stage to one stage. One thing. Second thing, you will get some few real-time scenarios. How this testing will be done. I mean they will test it. How will you be testing? How will it be done? How will it be done? That's scenario 6 simple scenarios. Only the thing is, I'll ask you questions. Like what's the? My intention is, I might give you scenarios, but what you have understood you need to explain. Got, that's what you can proceed with that, no issue. But if you are not able to understand, I'll explain you. That logic you want to understand easily, you will do it very easily. Only then understanding is required. That's what my intention is all about. That is the reason I'm just holding it, not giving that things to you. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.